following sports presentation is a production of CTV 30 from South Paris, Maine. This is Roger Painchaud, my partner tonight, Marc Paquette, and we are here for the opening of Class A football. Thornton Academy, the visiting Golden Trojans from Saco, here to take on the Vikings of Oxford Hills. And here come those Vikings now. Your usual play-by-play announcer for these games is Jay Harper. Jay, however, has another commitment this evening, and so they brought in the substitute play-by-play guy, me. However, our cameraman tonight is Marc Picard. As I said, Marc Paquette, who certainly knows TA football far better than I, will be doing the color. And Marc, it's a pleasure working with you tonight for the first time.
Well, it's great to be with you, Roger, and what an excellent night for football. The temperatures are quite warm.
Yeah, it's about 95.
Field looks beautiful.
It does.
And both teams in pregame certainly seem to be ready to play.
Marc, why don't you tell us all about this Thornton Academy football team as they come on the field? From what I read in the paper, which is about as much as I know about them, outside of what you've been able to tell me, this TA team has great size. And is coming in here with an outlook for a tremendous season. Prognosticators in the local area looking for them to be, it's a 1-2 battle again against who else? Biddeford High School, probably for the best in the West. And that's the way we understand it. I assume you agree.
Yes, and also you can throw Edward Little into that to make it a clean trio. Thornton Academy this evening, as far as the injury front, going to be missing their captain and starting lineman, Chris Tabor. And that will move John Verrill back over to the right guard spot. And sophomore Greg Lamar, 6'1", 225, will get the start at right offensive tackle. They are an extremely young team, only starting 3 seniors offensively. And it'd be interesting to see how they can use their size. And some folks say they're inexperienced, but after speaking with John Moran this week, who coaches the line, he's quite impressed with the way they've come along, and he expects some great things from them this year.
Well, they had a preseason scrimmage. It's just a scrimmage. We're not going to make more of it than that, against Portland High, I guess, last week. And I think the coaching staff was fairly satisfied with what they saw that day. And a win is a win is a win, as they say. And they came away with one that afternoon. It looks like, as we can say, a very exciting and interesting football season for Taunton Academy. As far as Oxford Hills is concerned, on the other side of the field, they're going to be led tonight by their quarterback, who is number 13, Kevin Thurston. And you can see the back of Kevin there from here. Jason Briggs, number 11, also will be seeing a lot of time, along with the right halfback, Jeremy Tardif, number 28. Number 29, another left halfback is Chet Tracy. But a lot of this stuff seems to revolve around Thurston and his ability to throw to an outstanding wide receiver, Ed Follett, number 3.
Thurston, a southpaw, Roger, and likes to zip the ball out there. His favorite receiver is Follett, the senior. And you can expect to see Simran Colby doing the bulk of the work on the ground for the Vikings here this evening.
Number 35, and he's a senior. So, it's a big squad. That looks like a fairly large squad in terms of size. We don't have weights here, so I can't tell you just how large they are in terms of tonnage. But they're pretty big boys out there, and there's a lot of them, as you can tell. But this big Thornton team as well. I'm looking for a really good game here tonight. And I think we're just about ready to get this thing kicked off, aren't we? We still have the band on the field. What do we know about their offense, if anything, outside of Thurston throwing to Follett? The running back, I guess, the watch, as you said, is the Simran Colby.
From what I understand, they do like to throw the football, probably more so than you will see most of the traditional East teams. Most of their teams like the Marshwood brand of football, power left, power right.
Really?
But with a Thurston in there who can throw the ball, that does open things up for them offensively because it'll spread the defense out. And now we'll pause, Roger, for our national anthem.
Well, the playing of the national anthem gets us just about ready to get this thing going as the Oxford Hills marching band, and that's a large marching band, they go marching off. The captains will be meeting in the center of the field for the traditional toss of the coin. It's just great to get high school football started again. The captains, by the way, for this Thorne Academy team, Keith Crotto, number 11, Ryan Summer, number 26, and the young gentleman who will not be playing tonight, as Mark pointed out, Chris Tabor, all out there in the middle of the field. And for Oxford Hills, we have Thurston and Colby.
And prior to the start of the season, Roger, there was lots of speculation as to who would get the starting nod at quarterback. Would it be the senior Keith Crotto, excellent at running the option, really puts a lot of pressure on the corners with his quickness, or Andy Burgess? Could he win the job? And really, Andy, just a junior, 6'1", 200 pounds, the prototype pocket passer with some good size, and also they say some pretty quick feet for a guy that size. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles himself here this evening.
Okay, guys, with the toss of the coin, why don't we take a short break? We'll be back with the initial kickoff for the 1993 football season for York County and for CTV 30. We'll be right back right after this. Okay, back here at Oxford Hills, we're ready for the start of our game. It'll be Oxford Hills kicking off to the Golden Trojans, and we'll be ready to go here in just another couple
Starting
of seconds.
offensively for the Trojans this evening at center, Chad Perrault, 5'10", 190 junior. At one of the guards, Scott Fisk, 5'8", 185 junior. And at the other guard, John Verrill, 5'11", 210, and also a junior. At the tackles, Alex Harder, a 6'4", 230-pound junior. And at the other tackle, Greg Lamar, 6'1", 225, a sophomore. The tight end, Jeff Wolfart, 5'10", 190, a junior. At the wide receiver position, Jeremy Soroyce, 5'9", 160, and a senior. Of course, we mentioned Andy Burgess getting the nod at quarterback, 6'1", 200 pounds, and a junior. Rick Carey at fullback, 5'9", 180, a senior. Kevin Massey getting the start at tailback, 5'10", 180, a junior. And Keith Crotto, the Z-back, 5'8", 160, and he's a senior.
Okay, we're just about ready for the kickoff. And deep for Thorne Academy, we're looking at Keith Crotto back there, along with Christian Doyen, number 22. And number 40 is Kevin Massey. Kick is away. It's a short kick. And there may be a fumble on that play.
And I believe Oxford Hills has it.
It's possible. Well, the ball stays in the hands of Thorne Academy. I thought sure that Oxford Hills had come up with that one, Mark. But ball is going to be spotted at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10.
Rick Carey saves the day on that, Roger. He was able to pounce on that ball.
Out of the old I formation, two boys split wide. And your quarterback, Andy Burgess, number 18. Handoff inside, Massey. Finds some room, and he's still on his feet. He could go all the way on the first play of the year. Put it up.
And no flags, Roger.
And a great play of the year. Mark, how about that? Kevin Massey breaking off to his right, and he goes, what do we got, 64 yards for the touchdown.
And a great job that time by Greg Lamar on the right side. He took his man inside with a great block, sealed that outside. Massey cutting it up to the outside, and then it was nothing but pay dirt ahead of him.
Beautiful.
And very quickly, the Trojans strike here in 93.
First play of the year. You can't beat that. We couldn't have scripted this one better.
Carey splits the uprights on the point after, and we're some 32 seconds into this contest, and Thornton Academy jumps out on top, 7-0.
7-zip for TA as they make no mistakes in the very first possession of this game. And if you're a Thornton fan, as I'm sure everybody out there watching this thing is, you gotta like it. And we're setting up for another kickoff. Well, that didn't take too long, 7-0, and I don't know if if the coaching staff exactly expected it. The first play from scrimmage was the very simple off-tackle run would result in this kind of an outcome, but boy, they'll sure will take it. Doing the kicking for Thornton Academy is the man who just scored the touchdown, Kevin Massey. Ball goes deep. And breaking out of there is Chet Tracy, and he's finally driven out of bounds. But Tracy will get over the 50-yard line into Thornton Academy territory, just barely, I guess, about the 49-yard line, and nice run back. Chet Tracy for the Vikings.
And a good job by Kevin Massey playing center field, the safety position, last man back for the Trojans. Used the sideline as one of his defenders and was able to push the man out of bounds.
We'll set the ball at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10, and the Vikings are in excellent field position for their first offensive series of the season. They go into a modified wishbone, 2 boys split wide. And the handoff is going to come over on this side. A lot of room, still on his feet, drives inside the 45-yard line. That running back is Jeremy Tardif, number 28. A junior running back, and he'll get the ball down inside the 45 to just about the 44-yard line.
And good help support from the cornerback, Jeremy Sorois, coming up quick once he knew it was a run, putting the stick on the ball carrier.
Gain of about 4, we'll call it 2nd and 6. A short 6. Same offensive set. Tracy goes in motion. Up the middle. Good gain for about another 5 or so inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. That is the boy that we talked about pre-game, Simran Colby, number 35, picking up, well, let's make it 4 yards now as they respot the ball. We'll call it 3rd and a short 2, maybe a yard and a half or so. Nothing very fancy so far. Straight ahead smash mouth football for the Vikings, now in the wishbone. And the quarterback will keep it and may have the first down. That's Kevin Thurston. He found a little seam there, didn't he, Mark?
Had a good initial surge, Roger, and was straightened right up, but I believe he has enough for the first down. It's going to be real close.
Yep. First down, Oxford Hills at the 38-yard line. Coming into the lineup is Kyle Peavy, number 14. Bringing the play in from the bench. Ed Follett, number 3, leaves the field. Since he is a favorite receiver, we'll assume that this is not going to be a passing play. Thurston is the quarterback, number 13. Tracy goes in motion. And he's the pitch out man. He gets it. Now he's got to be hit, and he's going to be nailed in the backfield. Nice tackle by Keith Prado coming up.
Good job all the way around by the Trojans that time. Aaron Knox playing quarterback on the option, and Keith Prado coming up quick to take the pitch man and throw him for about a 4-yard loss.
It's about 2nd down and 14. And now Follett returns to the lineup, replacing Jason Briggs, number 11. Look for a passing play. 2nd down. And in motion is Tardif. Thurston goes deep. Overthrown. Intended for Follett. Pretty much as predicted. And we're going to have a 3rd down and 14.
Well, they were hoping the Trojans were going to bite on the play action that time to Simran Colby, but once again, Crotto staying with with Follett in the secondary. When that ball was thrown, it looked right off that it was going to be overthrown, but Keith stayed with him, and a good job by the Trojans.
Yeah, all receivers very well covered. So we've got a 3rd down and 14. We'll assume that they're going to go through the air one more time here. The ball is at about the Thorn Academy 42. Thurston fakes twice, looks for a receiver. Finds one over the middle, hit, but a good tackle. He's driven down at about the 30-yard line. And that looks to be a little short, isn't it, Mark?
Looks to be about 3 yards short. And what we've come to expect from Ryan Summer, when that ball's thrown over the middle, whether the receiver catches it or not, he generally puts a good stick on it to let them know that that's going to be his territory for the evening.
Well, we've got a 4th down in short yardage, and obviously in this territory we're going to go for it. Go for the 1st down. Thurston again, the quarterback. He goes straight wishbone. No one in motion. Power all the way. And that's going to be close.
I think the second effort might have got it for him.
Looked like Jeremy Tardif, number 28.
A good initial hit by Tardif, but great leg drive by that runner for the Vikings. And
yep,
he does pick up the 1st down.
And the ball will be spotted at, where are we? The 27-yard line, I believe. 1st and 10.
And an impressive opening drive for the Vikings.
Yes, it is. First down. Up the gut. Oh, yeah. Well, that looked like it was going to do a little better than it really ended up gaining. Good reaction in the middle of the line by Thorn Academy to stop Colby. But he picks up, let's say, about 3, maybe 4 yards. Second down and 7.
Chad Perrault, Rick Carey there on the stop, along with Jason Boudreau.
And we're down to about the 23-yard line here. Second down. One back set. That's Colby. We'll go the other way. Headed for the sidelines.
And that time, had Tardif cut it up to the inside, I believe he would have had a much better gain.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Dave Nassy was out there, and he was being pushed to the outside of the field, and Tardif ran in that direction. And again, 3rd and short here for Oxford Hills.
3rd and short indeed. We're at the 18-yard line on 3rd and 1, and Oxford Hills is finding some running room. The defense for Thorn Academy is a typical high school defense, a 40 defense, which is 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs. And I don't think he made it. I think he got stuck right at the line.
And I'm willing to bet at the bottom of that pile you'll find Rick Carey.
Running back is Tardif.
A great stick, no gain at all, Roger.
Yeah.
Now we'll have 4th and I believe less than a yard.
Chad Parrow in on that tackle, also number 66 for Thorn Academy, and we're looking at a 4th down, less than a yard. Big important defensive play here for Thorn Academy, and equally important to keep the offense rolling for the Vikings. Trailing in this game, 7-0. Oh, there's all the room in the world. Thurston just follows his center, and we'll have the 1st down as he drives just about to the 15-yard line. And it'll be, yes indeed, 1st and 10 for the Vikings as they continue their drive downfield.
And as you said earlier, nothing fancy, right?
Nothing fancy.
Straight at him.
And obviously they're just going to keep on doing this until Thorn Academy can prove that they can stop it. And why not? The deep back is Colby. And we're going to go to the corner to Follett, overthrown.
Follett was there. Great double fake in the backfield, and Follett ran a little delayed route out to the right corner of that end zone. It was just overthrown. He had Crotto beat by some 5 yards
Yes,
out
he
there.
did. He did indeed. But it's just a long incompletion, and we've got a second down and at 10, and we're still at the 15-yard line.
Nice call by Oxford Hills, mixing it up, trying to keep Thornton Academy's defense off balance.
Yeah, that's a good first down call. But the adrenaline is flowing here early, and Thurston just had a little too much zip on the ball. Out of the wishbone. Inside handoff. Oh, yes. This is Jeremy Tardif, once again, a good-looking halfback here in this drive. He's a junior. He plays safety on defense, as most of these high school boys will play both ways more often than not. He drives down inside the 15 to about the 12, and Mark's head just blew up.
You might say some tight quarters up here this evening.
You might say that.
To say the least.
Uh-huh.
Togetherness is the theme.
Ah, yeah.
And right now, what Thornton Academy needs on this play, which they haven't had yet on this defensive series, is a good surge. They're getting back, pushed back 4 and 5 yards on every running play.
Good point. This is 3rd and 7. He has Follett wide. And he'll drop back and look for him. And there he goes to the corner once again. And this time, much better coverage by Crotto, who smelled that out. He also had Tardif short on that pattern, and he might decide to come back to that play down the road. We might want to watch that. Follett was deep and covered, but Tardif became uncovered short. Looks like a 4th down, Mark.
He looked in the direction of Tracy here on the near side of the field first,
yeah.
And then I believe his primary receiver was Follett all the way, just trying to look away from his receiver.
Sure. Well, we've got a 4th down, and we're going for the field goal. And setting up for it is number 12, Mike Lovelace. Going for 3. Thurston holds, kick is up, and that is wide and no good. Well, Thornton Academy does come up with the defensive stand they were looking for. They will be taking over 1st and 10 at their own, let's make it the 12-yard line. And we'll be back with more Thornton Academy football after this commercial message. We'll be right back.
Can you hear the feedback? Can you hear it, Roger? No, it doesn't. I can hear. It must be just in my headset. It's like a buzzing.
I hear a little buzzing, but it's better now than it was
boy,
earlier.
a while ago.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Excuse me, Mark?
Back here on the field and breaking out and looking very good on that run is quarterback Andy Burgess. Not a captain yet. I'm promoting him a little too quickly here. But he moves the ball out nicely to about the 38-yard line for a nice run and a big 1st down, and that takes the ball away from the shadow of their own goal posts and puts them in a little better field position here as they go on. Actually, only their 2nd offensive series, if you recall. It only took 1 play the first time around. And there goes Massey again. He has the touchdown in this game. And he will drive out to about the 48 and be close to another 1st down.
Massey for 8 more. And how's this sound, Roger? 2 carries for 72 yards thus far. Not a bad average.
Not bad.
And just as Thornton Academy wasn't doing the job up front defensively, right now their offense really moving the Oxford Hills trenchmen off the ball, doing a great job. 3 runs, already close to 100 yards.
Rolling right along. We'll spot it at just short of the 48. 1st and 10 out of the power I. We're going to throw off that play. And incomplete. Intended downfield for Keith Crotto.
Well, I know Keith isn't happy right now. He feels that he was interfered with, but really incidental contact, both men playing for the football, which they both have the right to do.
Right.
And 3rd and 1, you'd certainly expect to see them go right back to the power of football here.
And let's see how they do it. They're coming out of the old-fashioned T formation. I think there was an offensive, it's a tackle for the Golden Trojans that not come set, and they'll be called for that. That was, I believe, Greg Lamar.
Right side.
Was moving.
Right side movement, Raj. You're correct on that. Now Thornton Academy is going to, instead of having a 3rd and a little more than 1, now they're going to have that 3rd and 6.
Yep. Exactly right. Ball is spotted back around the 43-yard line. And as Mark said, about a 3rd and a long 6 here. And TA may decide to put the ball in the air. They split 2 boys wide. Burgess fakes the handoff, looks inside, and just out of the hands of Keith Crotto, who was stretched out.
Almost a great catch by Crotto. He was
Indeed.
breaking open right down the middle of the field and just a little bit out ahead of him. Great effort, but Thornton Academy comes up short this time around.
And this will be the first punting situation of the game for either team, I do believe. On a 4th and 6. Our score from Oxford Hills, Thornton Academy 7, and the Vikings zip. In point formation, I believe that's Burgess, who gets it away very nicely. We've got a fair catch call and made by Tracy. The ball will be set down. Let me see if I can figure out my yard markers here, because their yard markers are just not available to us from the other side of the field for some reason. So we're just sort of
looks about the
counting.
23, Roger.
Yeah, it looks about it. Yeah, okay, 23 sounds good. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 23-yard line.
Follett's split to the near side of the field, Raj. Great job by Jason Boudreau. The Vikings flooded the right side with 3 receivers, sending them out in different areas, different zones of the field. Boudreau, as he was falling down, was able to get enough of the ball carrier to set his ankles and bring him down. Very short gain of 1.
So we're going to call it a 2nd and 9. Second down and just about 9 yards. And we've got a timeout on the field. Well, with a timeout on the field, let's take a timeout here in the booth. We'll be back with more action right after this message.
Roger.
Okay, back here at Oxford Hills, our score is 7-0. We've got a timeout on the field. It's a very warm evening, a very humid night, and it's going to take its toll, I think, on the players as time goes on. And even up here in this booth, it's very warm and kind of sticky. But what the heck, it's been a great summer, no time to start complaining about it now. We've got a 2nd down and 9 as we're getting ready to resume play. Actually, I've been impressed, Mark, with the way that the Vikings have been able to move the ball on the ground. I think we've talked about that right along. But, of course, Thornton Academy did come up with a good stand when they needed it, and the field goal attempt failed. But I think if TA can make some adjustments, however, defensively, against the run, this could turn out to be a completely different game here. Going wide and driven out of bounds. Just short of the 30-yard line. That was Tardif.
Yes, and Jason Boudreau that time stepped up to meet the blocker, and once again, good support run defense by Ryan Summer with that inside-outside pursuit and knocking the man out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain.
Going to have a 3rd down now and about 3, I guess. We'll call it 3rd and about 3, maybe 4 yards. We're at the 29-yard line. Follett goes wide to the right. Thornton defense is switching, adjusting. As Thurston goes back to throw, he's got a nice pocket. And he's going to find his receiver, and it just bounces off the hands of Follett. It was actually underthrown. Follett was open. The ball never really did quite get there.
Well, instead of setting his feet and really zipping that ball in there, Thurston kind of threw off balance going back away from his body, and the ball just kind of hung in the air because Follett was open.
And he had time to throw it.
He certainly did, had all the time in the world.
Well, that sets up a 4th down, and it'll be the first punting situation for the Vikings in this game with 2:25 remaining here in the first quarter. Again, our score, Thorn Academy 7 and the Oxford Hills nothing.
And let's see what the Corrado-Doyen duo can do back here, returning punts for the Trojans.
Dropping back to punt is Mike Lovelace. Ball is away.
The wall's there, Roger.
And there we go. This is Keith Corrado. And he just sort of ran into that tackler at the other side.
He had one man to beat.
He did.
And he found him.
Yeah, he sure did. It was like a magnet. But nevertheless, it's an excellent field position for TA. They'll be setting up just about at the Viking 49-yard line. And not a bad place to start an offensive series. Fast-moving game because so much of it has been on the ground, of course. The I formation, 2-boy split. And on the option, Burgess decides to move it forward, and he does very nicely for a gain of about 5.
Nice read by Burgess. They were taking away fullback and pitch man. When he saw a defensive end go to the outside, he cut it up inside for a good first down gain of 5 yards.
It's called reading the defense, isn't it? Reading what they're giving you and taking advantage of that. And that really comes with experience, which obviously this young man is gaining with every offensive play that he will be involved in this season. Massey, hard running fullback, will pick up a couple more.
When that play first started, it looked wide open right up the middle, but a great job by Jason Frey of the Vikings, the senior, coming up and making the stick. Thorn Academy now faced with another 3rd down here, and looks like a long 2 or 3.
Just about. They go to the old straight key. Fullback, 21, hits the line, hits hard, and drives forward for the first down. Nice run by Rick Carey.
The raging bull of this team. Tough running to bring down. If you notice, first 2 hits were up at his neck. You're not going to bring down a tough ball carrier like Rick Carey when you're hitting him up by the shoulder pads.
He shook those off really easily and moves the ball down to the 36. First and 10 for the Golden Trojans. Looking to pick up some more points here in the first quarter, the waning seconds of the first quarter. Carey again, spinning his way down. He'll get close to the 30-yard line, probably come up about a yard short. See where we spot it. We'll make it the 31. Second down, about 5, would you say, Mark?
About 5, and you can see the Trojans now very slowly, methodically starting to take control of things out here, especially offensively, moving the ball down the field once again.
Corrado wide on one side and Christian Doyen wide on the other. The pitch out is to Massey. He evades the first boy, cuts back, has some room. Beautiful run by Massey.
A gain of 13 by Massey, and a lot of fancy footwork, some sidestepping, and good push-out block by Carey. And that's going to do it, Rog, for the first quarter.
You said it, and the ball is going to be spotted, I believe, down around the 17-yard line. Well, it's been a great first quarter of football here from Oxford Hills. Our score after 1 period of play, the Golden Trojans of Thorn Academy 7, Oxford Hills zip. We will be back with quarter number 2 right after this.
Can I do this quickly when we come back? I think we have a chance. Oh, maybe not, Roger. That didn't take them long. Oh, they got a timeout.
Okay, back here at Oxford Hills, we're going to have a little timeout on the field and timeout for Mark to...
well, if I may, Roger,
yes, sir.
Next Sunday, September 12th, between 11 and 12:45, WLPZ, that's Radio F 1440 AM on your dial, we'll have their debut airing of High School Sports Forum, and that's hosted by our own Jay Harper. It's a weekly show featuring all the high school scores and other topics dealing with high school sports, and every week they'll have a special guest. The first show guest will be Peter Kern, AD at Westbrook High School, and a topic of discussion is going to be the recent budget cuts, which have affected everybody, as well as the pay-to-play policy. We'll get more of that in just a moment.
Great. Good for Jay. Happy to hear it. First down. Burgess keeps it, finds a hole, nice hole, and there's a fumble. Yes, recovered by Oxford Hills, and that's a tough way to stop the drive. Tough way to stop the drive.
Well, a gain of 10 by Burgess, but then being stripped of the ball, and that's very costly after moving the football down the field and losing it that way.
Yes, indeed. Well, the ball will be spotted, I believe, just short of the 15, so we'll call it the 14-yard line. First and 10 for the Vikings. And that is a tough way to end what was looking like a very, very strong drive. Tardif in motion. Thurston is going to go deep. He's airing it out. Tardif up and down, and nobody comes down with the ball.
Great job by Summer, just staying back center field and jumping straight up, playing ball, staying in his territory, not giving up his room. And once again, that throw, a little more zip on it, but it seems to be hanging in the air.
Yes. Summer's good height. He goes 6 feet, 175 pounds. He used all 6 feet that time. Good defensive play. So we're going to have a 2nd and 10.
And thus far, Thornton Academy defense doing a good job against the pass.
In the wishbone. Thurston calling signals. And that handoff goes inside and goes absolutely nowhere. Buried at the line.
Good job in there by Josh DeSimone and Darryl Bryant along with Chad Perrault. Everybody in that middle shutting that run down.
Absolutely. And we're going to look at a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 10. Play coming in from the bench.
And what we haven't seen thus far is any pressure on Thurston by the Trojans.
This is true. Ryan, let me correct that. That was Kyle Peavy that is bringing the ball. Signals plays in from the bench. 3rd down. Pitch out. Going the other way. There's the reverse. They've got it working. Nice defensive play by the Trojans to stop that play before it really developed. That was Jason Briggs running with the ball, but the Trojans sniffed it out.
Well, Nassy stayed at home, and he slowed him down, knocked him off balance, and Keith Crowder coming up, making the big stick.
Yep. And we've got a 4th down here. Punting team comes on the field for the Vikings, and dropping back deep will be Crowder for Thornton Academy. And he goes back there all alone. So we assume we're going to have a rush. Well, yeah, we do have a rush, and a pretty good rush. It's going to be a short kick. Corrado leaves it alone very smartly. And the Golden Trojans will have terrific field position once again here inside the Viking 35-yard line at about the 34. Not bad.
And we look for the Trojans to stay with what's working, a steady diet of Massey and Carey.
Guess so. 1st and 10, and Burgess brings them out. They're in the eye with the 2-boy split. And look at Massey go. Massey's got a hold. Massey's still looking. 1 block short, and he's brought down, but a nice run by the boy who's got the touchdown in this game, Kevin Massey, for a big 1st down.
Well, a big gain that time, and Jeremy Sorois was to the outside of the Oxford Hills defender, and he did the smart thing. He couldn't lay a block on him legally, so he just laid off it instead of picking up a costly clipping penalty, and Thornton Academy gets the big gain.
The ball, I think, again, I'm struggling with line markers here, but I'm going to, it looks like just inside the 15-yard line. So we'll call it the 15 for lack of a better spot. Up the middle again, and this time, no room. Good reaction by the defensive line of the Vikings, led in there by number 68, Chris Cousins, a big senior defensive tackle. And we're looking at a 2nd down and about 10 once again. Checking into the lineup is Jeremy Sirois and Sirois. You like the way I pronounce that? Isn't that nice?
Well, that is a French name.
Absolutely, Sirois. And he brings in the play from the bench. So we've got a second down. Right up the middle, low. He faked me out, touchdown!
Great job by Crotto that time.
Beautiful.
Running it, faking a post and then running it right to the corner. And Burgess was able to throw the ball over number 43, Danny Millette for Oxford Hills, who had got turned around. And a real nice job that time. Good hookup from Burgess to Crotto.
Beautiful. Faked me out. Of course, that isn't very difficult to do, but and doesn't matter anyway. But he certainly did. I was looking for the ball to be run up the middle, and the next thing I know, Crotto is coming down with the touchdown. The extra point attempt will be tried by Carey. He puts it up, and yes.
He's perfect.
He is perfect, as they say in Brooklyn. 14-0 here in South Paris, Oxford Hills. And the Golden Trojans now have picked up a 2-touchdown lead and are looking stronger as the evening progresses.
And this is usually the spot in the game where if their defense now can come back out, stop Oxford Hills, and pick up another score, then you start to see the momentum really shift, and I'm sure that's what the Trojans are looking to do. Aside from that first series defensively, they have looked much better. Oxford Hills has had some trouble moving the ball.
Well, we have 8:49 remaining in this first half. Thornton Academy has moved up to a more comfortable 14-0 lead over the Vikings. Kick is away. And that's Tardif looking for some blocking and not getting enough. An awful lot of Oxford Hills players standing up at the end of that play when they should have been knocking somebody down.
Very good point. Standing around, looking at each other, bumping into each other.
Exactly.
A lot of green shirts together, but unfortunately the ball carrier was nowhere in that proximity.
You said it. And he brings the ball out to about the 30-yard line where the Vikings will take over 1st and 10. They're out of the huddle very quickly, and the Thornton defense trying to set up. Still with the ball, quarterback airs it out short and a little overthrown.
Well, the seam was there.
It sure was.
Again, Tracy coming over the middle. They had number 11, Jason Briggs, had run a deep right route and really had cleared that zone out.
Yeah, the play was there. Thurston simply unable to get it to his receiver. So we've got a 2nd and 10, and the plays continue to be shuffled in from the bench.
And as we expected, Oxford Hills not shy about putting the ball in the air.
Second and 10. 2 boys wide, 2 boys in the slot, and they move. Oh, the pitch is fumbled, and I don't know. I think Oxford Hills comes up with the ball. Yep, they do. Pitch was intended, I believe, for Tracy. I get Tracy and Tardif confused because the 8s and the 9s and their jerseys look an awful lot alike to my aging eyes, but nevertheless, I think that was Tracy in this case.
And after Thurston pitched that ball, he took a big-time crunch hit from Aaron Knox and Rick Carey.
Yep. And there's a loss in the play of about, we'll call it 4 yards, I guess, and we're looking at what are we at, 3rd down and a lot, 3rd and 14. Now we have Tardif in motion. Thurston checks out his backfield and looks to throw. He's hit as he throws. Well, the ball is incomplete. Should have been caught. Looked like it hit him in the hands. A hard hit on Thurston as he got rid of the ball, but he bounces up okay.
Well, Soroyce had slipped down about the 43-yard line, and once again, Follett wide open, and that was a catchable ball.
Yes,
that's one that he should have come up with when it hits you in the hands, and that was a nice soft pass. Should have been handled. Thornton Academy very lucky on that play.
No excuses. We got a 4th down and about 14. Ball sits on about the Viking 26. Two boys back deep for Thorne Academy. And dropping way back to punt.
Watch for Doyne on the far side of the field. Not this time, though.
TA bounce falls on about the Viking 46. Another great field position situation for Thorne Academy. They've had it all their way, with the exception of one early drive right back in the first quarter, right? From Oxford Hills, it's been pretty much the TA show here tonight, which is the way we like to report them, obviously.
Yeah, Roger, they've definitely had, they've won the battle of field position by far.
1st and 10. Out of the eye. Thurston. Sorry about that, gang. I'm just used to calling Thurston. It's Andy Burgess, obviously, and Burgess will pick up a couple of yards as he decides to keep it. 2nd and 8.
Not much there that time, all the way around. All three options pretty well covered by the Vikings. Now perhaps a good time to loosen up that defense in the air.
They send two boys wide to the right. Crotto and Sirois. Burgess is hit as he throws, coming back for the ball very nicely is Captain Keith Crotto for a nice reception.
And that's what you teach your receivers. Help your quarterback out, come back and get the ball. Burgess was hit just prior to releasing. Didn't have any zip on it, but great instincts by Keith Crotto once again. That's a hard word to say.
Wasn't bad. You did well, though. You tripped over that one beautifully. And the ball gets down to about the 34-yard line and a first down for the Golden Trojans. And they say in the same basic set that they've been in all night, and that's Massey. Oh, he likes to run. This boy's a strong running back, driving inside the 30 to maybe the 27 or 8. Good run.
Give Massey 5 more. Once again, Thornton Academy, a lot of success on that corner.
Yes, they have, haven't they? Come to think of it, that's been a good spot for them all night. They've exploited it.
Good job by Alex Harder and Scott Fisk on that side.
2nd down. Again, they split two boys wide to the right. This time they go inside, and Massey's got a big hole. Touchdown!
Once again, they line up Chad Perrault, the tight end, to the left side, along with Harder and Fisk. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's Jeff Wolfart on this side. And a great job. Huge hole there. Once Massey got into the secondary, he was gone.
I don't think anybody put a hand on him, and all by himself into the end zone, and we've got a 20-0 football game as Carey will attempt the extra point. So TA really starting to establish their control of this game now, mid-second quarter. The snap from center is bad, but how about that? They come up with the 2 points as Crotto finds his man in the end zone.
Jeff Wolfart snuck into the secondary, and I'll tell you, Roger, that's what happens when you have a fleet-footed quarterback back there holding the ball. He can make things happen, and that's just a sign of great things to come from Keith Crotto. As the year progresses, you're going to see him, how many ways he can help this football team.
Well, he did a beautiful job on that play, and we've got a 22-0 score here in the second quarter. As Mark pans down here, we can get the Thorne Academy players down here on the sidelines. 5:22 remaining in our second quarter. 22-0 for the Golden Trojans. Great way to start the season. Not unexpected, I might add, although we don't like to predict games here. We just do them. We leave the predicting to other people. Always been a firm believer that the games have to be won on the football field and not in the newspapers.
Well, I've yet to see a game that was played on paper, Roger.
Said it. Yeah, you still have to show up and play the game. The kick was returned on that play by number 14, Kyle Peavy. And the Vikings will set up at about their own 37, or make it 38. 38-yard line. Timeout on the field. No, we're ready to go. Basic 4-4-3 defense for Thornton Academy. They stick with that all the way. And is that a completion or not?
Incomplete once again. Follett short-arming that ball.
Yeah.
Having difficulty this evening catching the ball. We've seen a few passes in his direction that should have been completed, actually.
Really? Absolutely. So we've got a 2nd and 10. And again, the plays are being shuffled in from the bench. This time coming in with the play is a number 36. And since I don't have a number 36, I have no idea who that kid is. The mystery man has just walked onto the field. Maybe it was 35. Well, whatever. No, it was 36. As I said before, my eyes are bad. They're not that bad. Oops. And that's Colby finding a nice hole for one of his better efforts of the evening as he drives the ball out to the 49-yard line and what looks like a first down. And it is. They're going to move the old markers. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 49. First and 10. Follett is split wide to the left. Double slot. Colby in the back is the one setback, and Colby's the running back up the middle, and he finds a little room driving down into TA territory at their 45, gain of about 6.
Oxford Hills quick on the line of scrimmage, little trap block, fullback up the middle, and nice yardage once again for the Vikings.
Absolutely. Second down and 4. As Marc Paquette breaks into laughter, which is good to have Marc Paquette do every now and then. 2nd and 4. And we got a little bit of a timeout on the field. Not a bad time for us to take a little timeout up here as well. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this first half right after this message. Back here at Oxford Hills, Mark almost threw the camera out the window. And we're ready to go with a 2nd down and 4 at the TA 45. Out of the wishbone. Oh, Tardif bounces away from one and is still on his feet. And now he's dragged down, but that's a nice run and a gain of about 13 yards for a first down.
Great running and a lot of arm tackling going on that time by the Trojans.
Good point.
Got to stick the pads in there, fellas. And I feel a real good timeout right now by Coach Agresti trying to get that defense organized.
Yep, Dick comes out on the field to talk to his boys here and say, guys, listen, 22-0 means absolutely nothing. You've got to still play this game, you know, and we're not going to start letting down now. So no more of that foolishness. Let's get to work.
Well, the thing that can happen in games like this, Roger, is you can start to develop some bad habits because, you know, the game is one-sided and bad habits have a way of multiplying. And then when you get in that big game and you need the performance, the way you've played in the past is what's going to
come back to haunt you.
It sure is.
Yep. And that's exactly, I'm sure, what Dick is telling his kids right now. Dick Agresti has been around for a number of years. Been a friend for a number of years. I've known Dick since, well, I guess high school days almost.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. Well, the coaches come off the field and we're ready to resume play here. We've got a 1st and 10. Tracy in motion. Up the middle goes Colby, and another big gainer And that's certainly not what Dick had in mind in terms of defense. They found a big hole up the middle. Another first down.
Right at your football.
Exactly. I think that's just inside the 20-yard line, or just about at the 20-yard line.
And we've got a defensive substitution. Greg Lamar coming in now, replacing Darrell Bryant for a few plays, or at least one.
Out of the eye, our eye. Oh, look at Tardif find room, and he's going to pick up another chunk. He's going to get another 5 or so up the middle. Jeremy Tardif. He's run very well tonight. Tardif is a junior. Tracy is a sophomore. This is, you look down the roster, a pretty young team that Oxford Hills has on the field. Thurston is a senior quarterback, but there are an awful lot of underclassmen working with him here tonight. They go to the wishbone. It's 2nd and 4.
Whoa, Carey and Boudreau putting a big time hit out there.
I didn't catch the ball carrier. Oh, he may still be down, or is he? Is that a Thorn Academy boy? I'm sorry, that's a TA boy that's down on the field. It might have been Tardif running with the ball. I really didn't catch it.
I believe it was after a fake to Simran Colby.
Right.
Little counterplay to the left side, and once again, great yardage, Roger, a gain of 7 yards.
Yeah, too good. Who's the injured boy? He's getting up now. Okay.
Jason Boudreau, but the good news is he's up and he appears that he'll be all right.
Yeah, he looks okay, trotting off the field.
Great sign. Always a good sign to see a player running off the field.
Yep. Keep those knees and ankles safe. Although he is a hurting unit right now.
Looks like left shoulder area that he seems to be favoring.
Could be. Okay, back to the field. We got a 1st and 10. And we've driven the ball down to close to the 10-yard line here as things are getting very interesting. Here we go. Tardif again finds another hole, and we'll pick up some more yardage.
Well, right now they're at the 6-yard line, and here's where you find out who your leaders are in that huddle. Those are the take charge guys that remind the defense they've worked hard, and they want to try to pitch a shutout if they can this evening.
Well, they're bringing in 4 due players here on defense.
Apparently
sorry about that, Mark.
Going to the goal line defense, bringing some of the bigger fellas inside.
2nd and goal from the 6. In the wishbone. Thurston still has the ball, and he was hounded back there by Boudreau.
Once again, a good job by Boudreau.
Yes.
Nice play action fake to the middle of the line, but Boudreau wasn't buying it, and he made Thurston throw that ball really before he wanted to. And
we've got a 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 is right. And once again, Thornton Academy faced in a situation where definitely have bent quite a ways, but let's see if they'll break defensively.
1 minute and 17 seconds left here in the first half. 22-0 is our score, and Oxford Hills having its best offensive situation of the game as they are 6 yards away from getting on the board and at least making this game a little more interesting before the half. Would be very important for them, obviously, to be able to score before the half, and just as important for Thornton Academy to be able to stop them here. So a pretty important series has developed, and we're going to take a little time out again on the field as I can tell, and I'm not quite sure who called it, but who cares? 1:17, as I said, remaining here in the first half. The other side of the field, we're not going to pick it up now, but at the other end, I noticed the Oxford Hill band is starting to join up, so I would assume they'll probably come out and do a modified field show. Here, it's a little early in the season for high school bands to be doing field shows because they are just basically learning their field show routines. Nobody died, friends. It's okay.
We're now locked up here, though, Roger.
Yes, we'll never get out of the booth. There's a trap door type of situation that allows us up into the booth that we're in, and the door just fell over. So as Mark said, we can never get out of here again.
Well, Coach Moran just came out of the defensive huddle, and I'm sure their mindset is they're going to stack things inside and force Oxford Hills to try and throw to get the ball in the end zone.
Okay, see what happens here. Up the gut, and not much there. He just falls forward for whatever yardage he gets, and it'll probably be a couple of yards, I guess.
They're just shy of the 3-yard line right now, Roger.
Okay. The scoreboard shows 3rd and 3. Why do I think it should be 4th down?
It's definitely 4th down. The down marker shows 4th down. So.
Okay. Scoreboard is off. I thought it was a 4th down. Anyway, 4th and 3, the way we're going to call it. And we've got another timeout. 34 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Vikings want to talk about it again, I guess.
Hey, Roger, I'm going to try this again.
Good luck.
Next Sunday, September 12th, WLPZ, that's 1440 on your AM dial, will be debut airing of High School Sports Forum. That's hosted, as I said, by Jay Harper. That'll run between 11 and 12:45. That's a weekly talk show. It features all high school scores of the week and other topics dealing with high school sports, as well as special guests every week. The first show, premiere show, is going to have Peter Curran, athletic director at Westbrook, and they'll be discussing, amongst other things, the recent budget cuts that have hit most of the schools throughout the state of Maine, and the pay-to-play policy, which has received a lot of controversy, I know, down in our area, Roger.
Yep.
And if you want to call in, I'm sure Peter and Jay would love to hear from you, and that's 774-7283. Call in with your comments, questions, and hopefully they can answer any questions you may have or solutions you may have as to how to solve this budgetary crisis we're in. So tune in September 12th. That's 1440 AM on your dial, WLPZ.
No, nobody's asked me, and nobody will, but if they were to ask me, I'd tell them I would be deathly opposed to pay for play. But as I said, nobody asked, and that's okay. 4th down and 3, and this is the probably the final important play, anyway, of this first half. Out of the wishbone. And I don't think he went anywhere.
Not there. Not there, boys and girls.
No way.
Thornton Academy had 6 down linemen, at least, possibly 7, and they were going to stack the inside. They were confident that the Vikings weren't going to be able to throw it in the end zone against them.
And they were dead right about that. Was that Colby, the running back? I think it was. Anyway,
Simmerin Colby, the
Simmerin
fullback,
Colby, yep,
stood right up at the line of scrimmage by Darrell Bryant. And I might add, big Darrell Bryant, 6'11", 285. And yes, folks, he's just a junior.
Isn't that amazing? 6'11", 285. 1st and 10 for the Trojans, and they're going to go deep. Too deep. And there's no flag on the play. I thought maybe we would have an offensive interference call against the Trojans, but nothing is called. And it'll be a 2nd down with still 15 seconds left in the half.
Well, probably incidental, and also the official, I think, realized that Crotto was cutting inside and Burgess threw the ball to the outside. They weren't on the same page on that one.
Keith comes out of the game. And TA has 15 seconds to run out here, and they will do it by running it up. No, a little wide action there. Looks like carry.
A 10-yard pickup for Rick.
Not bad.
And he ran out of bounds, so
that's
time for one more.
Yep, you're right. We're down to 10 seconds, so that only took 5 seconds off the clock. But, of course, very deep in TA territory. And this time we'll try it again. And our clock is down to 5 seconds, and a time has been called. 5 seconds left in this thing. Now the clock is
not moving.
Running, not moving.
Yes, it is now.
Now it's moving. 2-1. See you later. And that takes care of the first half of play. Well, it's been a good one. After one half of play, our score from South Paris. Thorn Academy, 22. And the Vikings of Oxford Hills, nothing. We're going to take a quick time out for these messages. When we get back, Mark will have some stats, and we'll do a little more chatter about our first half. We'll be right back right after this.
That was Keith Crotto, a 14.
Okay, we're back here at Oxford Hills. Score again, 22-0. We're out of breath because we just climbed back up into the tower. And I'm going to turn it over to Mark and see what goodies he has for us in terms of the first half.
Well, Thorn Academy's first score came on the very first offensive play of the game, a 64-yard run by Kevin Massey, and Carey was right down the middle on the PAT. They took a 7-0 lead. Their second score, 14-yard strike from Burgess, their quarterback, to Crotto. Again, Carey with the PAT, and it was 14-0. And they closed out their scoring on a 24-yard run by Massey once again. And with a bad snap, Crotto, with a little bit of improvising, found Wolfhart in the deep right part of the end zone. And Thorn Academy went into the halftime with a 22-0 lead. Rushing, I find here the Carey, 26 yards on 4 carries. Burgess, the quarterback, 50 yards on 5 carries. And Kevin Massey having an outstanding evening thus far, 126 yards. Of course, that's unofficial, Roger, on 7 carries. So Thorn Academy's rushing game approaching 200 yards in the first half, mixing a few passes in. Burgess hitting on 2 or 3 passes, just enough to loosen up that defense. And overall, pretty impressive showing here in the first half.
Indeed. Kevin Massey, only a junior. This is really a young football team in many ways, isn't it, Mark? When you look down the lineup, an awful lot of juniors on this team, and it's obviously a fine team. We're watching them operate here tonight, but this is a team that's going to be coming back next year and doing it all over again in many ways.
Well, with Tabor in there, which he is a starter in the line,
right.
That gives them 4 seniors. Not counting Sorois, who's the wideout.
Right.
Only 1 senior in the line, so lots of experience there. When you look there, you see a sophomore. Last year, Verrill, as a sophomore, got a lot of experience. This year coming in as a junior, and really a very seasoned player. And this year, Greg Lamar, with the injury to Tabor, getting some valuable playing time here this evening. And who knows, if Chris isn't able to come around next weekend, then Greg will get some more time in there.
Very interesting. Of course, they do have their outstanding seniors, and they wouldn't be an outstanding team if they didn't. We're talking about Keith Crotto and Jeremy Siroy and Rick Carey, Josh DeSimone, Ryan Summer. These are all seniors, and I'm sure there are others in there, too, that I haven't mentioned, but an awful lot of juniors that make the future, I would think, for this TA team very bright. And of course, it's very bright right now. We may not have to wait till next year for a great football team. This looks like a pretty good team right here on the field.
A great start so far, and where the seniors really lead the team is on the defense. Why don't we set the defense here, since they'll be kicking the ball. Defensive ends, Aaron Knox. He goes 6'2", 175, a junior. On the other side, Chad Peralt, 5'10", 190, also a junior. In the middle, John Verrill, 5'11", 210, a junior. And getting the start this evening, Darryl Bryant, 6'11", 285, and Darryl also a junior. Linebackers, outside linebackers, Dave Nassy, 5'10", 165, a junior. And the other outside linebacker, Jason Boudreau, 5'9", 170, a junior. Then come your key players, your seasoned seniors. 2 men in the middle at the linebacker spot, Rick Carey, 5'9", 180, a senior, and Josh DeSimone, not big, 5'5", 160, and a senior, but a big-time hitter. And in the secondary, returning lots of experience, the corners, Jeremy Soroyce, 5'9", 160, a senior. The other corner, Keith Crotto, 5'8", 160, a senior. And their big hitter back there as the safety, Brian Summer, the 6', 175-pound senior.
And that's the defense. Coaching staff at Thorne Academy, in case nobody knows, and I'm sure you all do, but nevertheless, the head coach, of course, is Dick Agresti. His assistants, Paul Callahan, John Morin, Mark Gange, Jack Morrison, Vince Emery, Dean Wolfhart, and Peter Scontras. Athletic director at TA, Jetty Newman. And we're just about ready to kick off the second half. Massey will put his foot into the ball, and we are off, and hopefully running. Ball is bobbled back there by Tracy, 29. He picks it up and is just bowled over and will be dropped at about the 20-yard line, I think. I'm still having a hard time figuring out where we are, but it looks like the 20-yard line.
Just over the 20, Roger.
Okay.
Nice job by Thornton Academy's kick squad that time. Everybody staying even in their zones. Kind of a surround and smother technique. And Oxford Hills is forced to start deep in their end.
Okay, and off we go. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Thurston with a double slot offense, and his fullback behind him, Colby. And Thurston hangs on to the ball, looking to throw downfield. Finds a man who drops it. And boy, haven't we said that a lot tonight?
Thrown a little bit behind him, but once again, a very catchable ball. And
sure.
Thurston throwing on the run again, and that time forced out of the pocket by Aaron Knox. Double play action fake, trying to get those linebackers frozen and sneak the guy over the middle zone in front of the safety, rather. And Aaron Knox doing a tremendous job of putting some pressure on Thurston. And I think we've seen when they have put pressure on him, he's not able to throw the ball well when he's on the run.
That's the truth.
And he hasn't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mark.
He hasn't had much help from his receivers when he's been on the money.
None at all. One into the wishbone. And they've been running well out of the wishbone, actually. There's a fumble. TA recovers. And who comes up with the ball, Mark? You get it? 82.
Aaron Knox, once again, 2 defensive plays in a row. First, the forced pass, and now coming up with a big fumble recovery. And Roger, excellent field position here for the Golden Trojans.
They're on the 26, Mark. Beautiful spot. And boy, this is a great way to turn it over early. If you're a TA, you've got to love it. 11-18 in the third quarter, and a TA in a great position. There's a fumble on the ball.
And they
Still
get it back.
rolling around. Yep, it goes right the other way. Oh, well.
No.
Burgess never had the handle on it, I guess.
Well, sometimes it happens that the quarterback pulls back at the same time that the center is making his movement towards the defensive player, and just that little bit of movement away from each other, quarterback catches the ball in the fingertips, and you never know the way the football is going to bounce once it hits the ground. This time it bounced in favor of Oxford Hills.
And Oxford Hills takes over once again at about the 25-yard line, and Thurston calls signals out of the wishbone. There's the pitch out. The deep man is Tracy, I believe, and he's dragged down after a gain of 3 or 4 maybe.
The Trojans did a nice job. They did everything right except make the tackle in the backfield. They had him for about a 2-yard loss, and he was able to elude Boudreaux and turn a loss into a 3-yard gain.
That was Tardif, by the way, not Tracy. Again, 28, not 29. We got a gain of about 3 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 7, and we'll set the ball up at the, about the 29 maybe. Here we go up the middle once again. And there's a good defensive play on what could have been potentially a much longer run. But coming up with the tackle is Siroy, number 12.
And what we've seen happen this evening is Thorne Academy, the technique that they teach in tackling is get that head out in front, and we're finding the head going in back of the ball carrier, and it becomes an arm tackle. And Oxford Hills has been able to slip a lot of arm tackles here this evening.
Yes, they have. And they've moved the ball just over their 35. We'll spot it at the 36-yard line, make it 1st and 10. As the Vikings go back into a double slot with Colby back there. Thurston hangs on to the ball. He's got room, he's got time. Gets rid of the ball, and we may finally have a reception here, and we do.
And you got to feel good for Thurston. They come up with a big catch for him. He did a great job that time after the double fake, stringing out the Thornton Academy defense, rolling to the right side, and a nice little soft pass over the middle, and a good job of coming down with it by Chet Tracy, and Oxford Hills on the move.
Indeed, and they've moved to the Thornton Academy 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Follette split wide down below here. This seems to be the, well, I was going to say that they're passing offense, but now they decide to run with the ball, obviously. Cardiff looking good, picking up a chunk of yards before he's driven out of bounds. Goes wide and will be, let's say pick up about 7 or 8 on that play. Inside, well, yeah, just inside the 40-yard line. TA 40-yard line. We're going to spot it about the 39.
Cardiff not a big back, but doing a good job of running hard with the football this evening.
We'll call it a 2nd down and, about a yard and a half. TA defense tightens up. And Colby finds a little room in the middle, not much, but maybe enough for the 1st down. It'll be close. They unstack them. Referee looks it over, and he says, I don't know. He says, bring the chainsaw. I don't know. So we're going to measure for the 1st down. Ball is sitting down around the 37 and a half, maybe. Stretches it out, and it's going to come up a little short by about 3-4 inches.
Entering the game defensively for the Trojans at the linebacker spot, Chris Sear, 6 foot, 170-pound senior.
Less than a yard to go as the Vikings snap out over the ball. And let's see if Thurston decides to keep it himself. No handoffs. No, he's going to throw. And he's going to throw deep.
Very surprising play. He was thrown out here on the right flat. Just tried to throw a streak pattern right down the sideline to Jason Briggs, but Jeremy Soroyce, nice job of coverage all over him. And I guess trying to catch the Trojans off guard, expecting that short little run. Now I would say...
now we go for the 3 or 4 inches, right? Up the middle.
And if Thurston just steps 1 yard to his right side, if Thornton lines up in the same set, there's a huge hole over right guard.
There is. But they're going to hand off instead, and they're going to make it maybe with a little to spare, not much. And that's Cardiff, who's going to get it, and he's going to drive down to the 35-yard line. Driven out of bounds. So it's 1st down for the Vikings, and the offense keeps rolling on here. You know, going back to that 3rd down play, not a bad call when you consider, right? 3rd and inches, why not?
Yeah, they're definitely in 2-down territory.
Sure.
Not necessarily territory, but with that short amount of yardage, they'll go for it on 4th down.
Absolutely. Okay, 1st and 10. And Thurston looks for a receiver, finds somebody downfield, and on a nice defensive play, that thing is broken up. And coming up with the hit there is Ryan Summer, number 26. Nice play by Summer to break that up, and we've got a 2nd and 10.
Once again, Thurston a little bit behind his receiver, but as you pointed out, a real nice job by Ryan Summer getting in there and knocking the football away.
I think that's a catch if Summer doesn't make that play. Second down. Here we go. Cross blocked a little bit. Nothing there. And defense again coming up big for Thorne Academy. That's Chris Sear, number 15, on a nice play.
And they did perfect textbook style that time. Chris Sear, the defensive end, took care of outside containment, forced it back inside, and along with the big hit comes Chad Hedieras. Done beautifully.
If anything, they lost about a foot, so we're still going to be at 3rd and 10. Trailing 22 to nothing. Of course, this still becomes 2-down territory for the Vikings as they send Tracy in motion. Dropping straight back. Good rush by Carey. Interception. And that looks like Mr. Boudreau down there.
Jason Boudreau coming up with the interception. Jason Briggs had run a downfield and then hooked to the inside. Thurston threw the ball, but he didn't see Jason Boudreau laying in the flats, and Jason just...
Nice play, Jason. And
got right in front of Briggs.
Here. And Mark picks him up as he comes off the field, and a nice rush on the passer that time by Rick Carey. Kind of forced the pass just a little bit, and that's all it took as TA now goes on offense. And busting out for a few yards.
6 tough yards by Rick Carey.
Well, Carey will get the tough yards. That's what they want him to do, and that's what he does. That's his job. And let's see, he'll move the ball out to the 36-yard line, and we've got a second down. Second and about 4. Pitch out. Massey, he's been tough all night. Oh, he cuts back very nicely. What a strong runner. Very, very impressive runner.
An 18-yard gain, and Roger, did you notice that push-out block by Rick Carey, knocking the defensive end? Massey just stayed there to see which way Rick was going to block the defensive end and then cut it up inside. Real nice job by the Trojans.
That's what you teach, isn't it? I mean, look for that block and go where they ain't. Massey, impressive tonight, following good blocking, and we've got a first down as we move inside the 50-yard line to the Viking 47. There we go.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
A 50-yard strike. And they were so concerned with Corrado over here on the right flat. Burgess looking right at Corrado while Summer streaked over the middle. And that ball was threaded beautifully by Andy Burgess, and I was very impressed with the speed of Ryan Summer once he got in that secondary.
Yeah, like a scared rabbit. Boy, he was gone. And we are at 28 to nothing. Number 26, co-captain Ryan Summer puts up 6 points. The extra point is good. And with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, Thorne Academy has pulled out to a 29 to nothing lead. Mark and I will be back with more action here in the third quarter. But first, let's take a pause for the cause. We'll be right back. Talk to it. Talk to me. Talk to it. Talk, 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 talk.
That's what we have.
Yeah. I hit this again, Roger. Point.
Okay, back here at Oxford Hills. Our score 29 to nothing, and Mr. Massey is about ready to put a foot to the ball, which is what this game is called. Football. Ball is picked up by Tracy, hemmed in. Now he gets away and is driven down. Well, he almost got out of there, but not quite. Oxford Hills will take over first and 10 at, where are we? About the 32-yard line, I guess. As the kicking team comes off the field. Thurston calling signals. And it's up the middle to Colby. Nothing much happening there. He'll pick up a couple if he's lucky. The whole middle of the defensive line for Thorn Academy reacting very nicely.
Much better job that time by the front four of the Trojans, neutralizing their man and then just reading where the ball's going.
Linebackers are very active in this game too tonight, haven't they been? I look over Josh DeSimone in that play. We'll get to all of them, but the linebackers are very active here tonight. Is it Dave Nassy, number 28?
Nassy, Carey, Boudreau,
yep,
DeSimone.
Doing a nice job. Pitch out, and he gets some room up there, and we should get the first down at about the 45, make it the 46 probably. That'll be a first down for the Vikings.
Well, the Thorn Academy defense traditionally has featured 4 strong linebackers. The outside backers quick, can get to the corners quickly, and the inside linebackers that like putting the stick on the ball, and no exception to that rule this year. 4 tough linebackers and a substitution. They're very deep at that position.
Okay. First and 10. As Tardif gets away from one man. Now he finds a little bit of a hole and gets hemmed in by a crowd. But not a bad gain, actually. He picks up another 9 yards and will drive down to, where are we? The 46-yard line of TA.
The Vikings have done a good job this evening running the football inside the 25 and inside the 20s, but where they've had difficulties when they get down deep in Trojan territory.
That's the truth. You know, when you look back on this game, this team has moved the ball offensively on the ground. They really have. But they just can't collect when they get into what I guess some teams call the red zone inside the 20-yard line. Big hit there. It'll be close for the first down. Big hit. And there are those linebackers again that we were talking about. Number 26, number 24, number 28. They're all there.
I believe it was Nassy that time. Stuck his helmet right under the chin of the ball carrier and drove him back. Stood him right straight up. Close enough for a measurement once again.
And this time they got it by just a little bit. First down for the Vikings. They move just inside the 45-yard line. But again, they've got 29 points to make up and not much time to do it in. So look at the clock running down. We're 2:33 and counting. First down. Thurston pitches out. He's got a boy out there who's still on his feet. Josh Adams finally dragged down. Big run and a big first down for the Vikings, as again they show their ability to move the ball. As far as I can recall, that's probably the first carry for Josh Adams. He's a senior halfback, number 44. And he'll get the ball inside to 30-yard line to about the 28, I guess. First and 10. Wishbone. Inside to Stacy on his feet. And then hit and drag down. Gain of a couple, maybe. Check Tracy. I said Stacy. That's okay. Check Tracy.
And look for the Vikings here, Roger, to go back off tackle, where they've had a great deal of success Thornton Academy's done a little bit better job of shutting down that right up the gut run, but they haven't been able to come up with the answer to the question off tackle yet.
About a 2nd and 6 here. He picked up a couple more yards than I had first thought. And there goes Tracy again, still on his feet. And now he's nailed, stopped. But the Vikings continue to run very nicely. Driving the ball downfield.
Well, that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 3, and that time it looked like Tracy actually had crossed the 20, got to about the 19, and then tried to make a move on the corner, cut it back, and actually lost a couple of yards on it after he had, overall he gained, but he lost a couple of yards on the pickup. They would have been just shy of the 1st down with his original spot.
That's right. Time is counting down here as we go into 30 seconds and in the 3rd quarter. We've got a 3rd down. Out of the wishbone, Tracy straight ahead. He's got the 1st down, and well, not much more, but certainly looks like he has the 1st down. We're down to 4 seconds left. The ball will be spotted at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10. And that ends our 3rd quarter. Well, we've completed 3 in South Paris at Oxford Hills High School. And the Golden Trojans are in strong command of this game. Thornton Academy 29, Oxford Hills zip. Mark and I will be back for the 4th and final quarter right after this message. All right. Got a bit of a buzz.
Yeah, maybe that's... Okay, here they go, Mark. No, coaches are running off the field. Vikings come back out on the ball at the 16-yard line with another 1st down. Wishbone set. Once again, Jeremy Tardif getting to the outside for the Vikings, and so Royce had slipped down on that play, allowing him to get to the corner, and appears, Roger, that we have another 1st down.
They've used Tracy and Tardif very, very well all night long, and again, without being too repetitive, and I'm sure we are, they have been able to march the ball very effectively from the 20 to the 20. And it's this spot on the field, basically, where things have broken down. Not so much that the offense has broken down, actually, to be absolutely correct. It's that Thornton Academy has just been able to rise up to the occasion and stop them in here. Now we've got a timeout on the field as Thurston decides that he'd like to talk things over, maybe with the coaching staff, and get some other opinions.
Once again, they've managed to drive their team down to the 6-yard line. And last time this happened, Thornton Academy brought in goal line defense, man-on coverage when Oxford Hills would split a man out, and just challenging Oxford Hills. We're not going to give you the run. Let's see if you can throw the ball in the end zone. And they tried to go right up the middle, and the Trojans were able to stop him right about the 3-yard line.
That's right. They have done it. Well, again, it's as we said, 29-0, and I'll tell you something. I believe that the team obviously doesn't want to make any mistakes when they get down to a position like this, and they start calling these timeouts. And or frankly, I think in high school football, you do better if you just keep the momentum going. A timeout here, you say, well, that's the right call. Let the coaches get in and talk to their boys and get all things over. Frankly, I think it's better to just leave them alone and let them run and keep that momentum going. I've seen time and time again where this kind of thing happens. They call a timeout just so they won't make any mistakes, and they end up making mistakes.
Well, it also allows the defensive coach to go out there.
Exactly.
And few reminders to his defensive players, and
sure.
Now they're more prepared than perhaps they would have been.
If you've got the momentum offensively and you've got it rolling, don't stop it. Just keep it rolling.
Well, they split Briggs to the near side of the field here. Thurston over the ball in the wishbone set. Once again, they go off the left side, off tackle. That's Jeremy Tardif, and looks like he's down about the 3-yard line. Didn't quite get out of bounds.
Well, they're getting close again. Of course, they've been there before, and things have fallen down.
And it is, the ball is spotted right at the 3-yard line, so it'll be second and goal from that spot. And it seems, Roger, that Oxford Hills is bound and determined that they're going to run that ball in the end zone. They're going to go with their power game. That's what has been successful for them this evening, so I suppose they're going to stay with it. All right, Thurston brings them out again, once again. Briggs to the near side. Same set. Sneaks over the middle and bounces to the outside, but nothing there. Good job by the Trojans shutting down the inside.
Now, I know they're going up against a different defensive set, or at least we think they are. It looks that way, but son of a gun, when you get down here, I'm not a coach, and that's fairly obvious, but it seems to me you do what's gotten you there. You don't change things now, and they're changing things. They're trying to come up with something different to suddenly make it work, and it was working just fine, you know?
Probably frustration setting in.
Probably. What do we got, Mark? A third down, 3rd and 3, right?
No gain on that last play.
Okay, well, we're getting close, 3rd and 3. Thurston brings them out. They're in the wishbone. That's the power set for them. You get the 2 extra blockers, and you try to bring somebody inside, just like they're doing now, and Tardif is going to get there. Well, they finally break the ice and get on the scoreboard.
They had Josh Adams leading the way on that outside, the far side of the field, and you have to feel good for Jeremy Tardif, as hard as he's worked and hard as he has run the ball this evening. It's nice to see him finally get into the end zone.
And, you know, that's been a bread and butter play all night, and finally they go back to it and they score with it.
Well, as you said, they went back to what was working, and it worked once again.
Exactly. Okay, so the Vikings get on the scoreboard here, and that's good for the hometown fans, if nothing else. And our score is 29-6. You know, before we came up, we were talking. Well, as we were coming up, we were talking about this game, and I think it was you, Mark, who mentioned that you had read someplace where some newspaper or prognosticator or somebody had decided that the final score of this game might be 30-6 in favor of Thornton Academy. You know,
not a bad job.
Right, he's off by a point.
Well, the gentleman's name was Tom Chard, and he writes for the Portland Press.
Right.
Friday morning's edition. So pretty good job thus far, Tom.
Yeah, good work, Tom. They're gonna go for 2. They're going to throw for 2. Oh, yes, beautiful interception. Great defensive play. Great defensive play, absolutely. That was Jeremy Sirwhite coming up with the interception, and that ends that. But the Vikings do get on the board with 10 minutes and 8 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Our score, Thornton Academy 29, and who are those guys? Oh, yeah, Oxford Hills 6. We'll be back with more 4th quarter football right after this pause. Kick here as we come back to live action, or taped action, actually. Picked up by Thorne Academy. He almost slipped away, you know, with that one.
Whoa.
Very close. Yeah, he picked the ball up around the 42.
I think every Thorne Academy coach just had some slight heart failure on that play. You just like to see a player stay away from that ball. Head and roll 10 yards. You're going to get the ball at that spot anyways. But let's add a little excitement to the game. Why not, Roger?
Absolutely. We are sharing a booth up here, very cramped quarters to say the least, with the Thorne Academy coaching staff. And at the other end, we got some radio people here from this area. And Mark is actually standing on a chair in order to see over people to find. And I'm struggling, but it's fun. This is Carey being dragged down, literally.
No gain on that.
No, maybe a loss of a yard, in fact. Second down, and we'll say 11 yards.
And Roger, I don't have the opportunity too often to see over people's heads, so this chair comes in mighty handy.
There you go. If only folks at home could see what we put up with in some of these locations. Burgess, beautiful throw, and a great catch at the other end in traffic by Jeff Wolfhart, number 89.
Very similar play to the one they went to with Summer on the other side. Just a quick pitch right over the middle and nice hands by Wolfhart, hanging on to that. About a 12-yard pickup.
We're down to the 20-yard line. Very quickly down to the 20-yard line. Beautiful play by Burgess to Wolfhart. They come out of the... Oh, yeah, Carey, look at Carey go, still on his feet, and in for the touchdown.
Rick Carey wanted that TD that time, Roger. Good hard running, wasn't going to be brought down, and we can't mention enough tonight the great job that offensive line has done for Thornton Academy.
You said it, right up the gut, too, and they've done it time and time again, Mark, absolutely right.
Harder, Fisk, Perrault, Verrill, Lamar, and Wolfhart doing a tremendous job opening holes on both sides of the line here this evening.
We never mention offensive linemen enough, and I think any good team starts offensively with the offensive line. And another conversion is complete. Good by
Rick Carey once
Keith
again.
Grotto. Yep. Oh, was that? I'm sorry. That's Keith Carey once again. So Carey picks up all 7 points on that particular drive, and our score now is 36-6. So Thorne Academy responds immediately to the Oxford Hills touchdown, comes back and gets 7 of their own, and continues to coast along here in this what's turning out to be a rather pleasant evening in South Paris, Maine, just a little south of Paris.
In Maine.
Right, where they speak French with a southern accent. What was that? Oui, you all?
That's
yeah,
right.
That's right. Okay.
And we should start seeing some substitutions, get to see some different faces in there for Thornton Academy, give everybody a little bit of playing time this evening.
Kick is away, fielded by Tardif, and he is hit and dragged down at about the 35 or so.
Certainly a bright spot this evening for Oxford Hills, without a doubt, has been Jeremy Tardif.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we'll spot the ball at, let's say, the 33, and Oxford Hills will go on offense. We've got to pick ourselves an offensive and a defensive star this game for TA, don't we, Mark? It's going to be a little difficult. Choices are going to be tough both ways, I think.
They certainly are. We've had a number of good performances here this evening.
Yep, we sure have. I think we're kind of zeroing in on our offensive star, but the defensive selection is going to be very, very difficult, I think. Very, very tough.
Well, we've mentioned a lot of different names this evening.
We have indeed.
It's a lot easier for us if you continually call the same name all night.
And we're going to start seeing those substitutions you were talking about. I see a sophomore in there right now, Kyle Shaw, number 16 in the lineup. And I'm not sure that that's the first time that he's been in the lineup, but nevertheless, I think we're going to start seeing some of the younger people finding their way into this game now.
Kyle is an outstanding all-around athlete.
Is he? 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Thurston is going to look to throw. He's going to be hounded. Gets the ball away. A little overthrown. A little high. Was intended down here for Jason Briggs, number 11, but really out of his reach.
Again, good pressure by Prohl and Verrill out here on the near side of the field.
Right, John Verrill applying some nice pressure, number 64 on defense. So we've got a 2nd down and 10. And considering the lateness of the time in this game, and we know that Oxford Hills certainly can move the ball on the ground. They've proven that quite successfully tonight. But again, as I said, considering the clock, we're more likely to see them go to the air to try to strike as quickly as they possibly can. 2nd and 10. And Thurston will try it again. He goes wide, completes the pass, and nice catch down here. Pardon me. This is Kyle Peavy, number 14.
Good job of tackling, open field tackling by Keith Crotto.
Yes.
A couple of more substitutions. Number 32, Chad Hidiaris, and also Jared Trudeau getting in there. And those are 2 names that we're going to hear a lot from in this year and in the future. 2 real tough kids, Roger.
Okay. We've got a 3rd down and about 3 yards to go here. The ball sits on the 40-yard line of Oxford Hills. And up the middle goes Colby. He breaks loose. He could go all the way and dragged down by Keith Crotto, who makes the first hit. And then Sirois sort of cleans it up. But a nice run up the gut by their fullback, Cimarron Colby.
Well, Colby doing a nice job of getting into the secondary, and then good speed by both Crotto and Sirois in the secondary.
Yep.
Being able to catch up to him. And Oxford Hills once again, Roger, getting into nearly getting into that red zone that we talked about earlier.
Yes, indeed. They're just short of that, about the 21, let's call it. And 1st down. And they're going to go wide. Adams is brought down, but after making a couple of yards on that play, this is Josh Adams, number 44. We'll call it 2nd and 7.
Entering the game defensively is Greg Lamar, 6'1", 225, and just a sophomore. Of course, his dad, Barry, has done lots of camera work for us here at CTV 30.
Sure has. I've done a lot of basketball games with Barry over the years. And we saw him here earlier, here to see his son play tonight. Colby. Colby gets a couple, but nice tackle in there by Chad Hidiaris.
Helped along by Jason Boudreau, and Jason feeling the effects of that hit.
Yeah.
Helmet to helmet.
Jason's been shaken up a little bit earlier tonight, and he's going to...
Looks like he's in a different time zone right now, Roger.
He's going to take a breather here, I think. Good idea. And coming in for Jason is Kevin Massey, number 40. We've got a 3rd down, about 6. Ball sits down at around the 17. Out of the wishbone with the 1 split receiver. They're going to go to Josh Adams with an awful lot of room on that side. Defense catches up to him, but not before he gets enough, I would think, for another 1st down. A great run, but an awful lot of room on that side.
Inside the 5, and something that has plagued Thornton Academy defensively this evening.
Yes.
Outside containment. Their outside containment is consistently being pushed inside. I know they go with 2 different defensive sets, One, the defensive end having responsibility, and the second set where defensive end pitches in and outside linebacker has that responsibility. Someone's getting pushed inside. And credit to Oxford Hills. They're doing a fine job of sealing the outside for their runners.
That's right. You have to give credit for the offense in a situation like that, no doubt. We've got a 1st and goal, kids. We're at the 4-yard line. And we're going to go wishbone. And we're going to drive in, but a little short.
Just short.
Tracy, I believe.
Yes, it is. Chet Tracy, the sophomore.
Well, it looks like they were down to about the 1-yard line, according to the scoreboard. And I believe them just as well as I believe myself at this point. So why not? So we've got a 2nd and goal from the 1.
Well, Follett bringing the play in, and if I were making the call, I'd go right back to Tardif, the bread and butter man.
Yep.
On the far side of the field. Lots of room out there.
Thurston is going to try to sneak it in, and that's not going to... Oh, yes, it is going to work. Well,
must have been second effort because Thornton Academy had it stopped initially.
Yeah, you could have fooled me, but 6 points go up on the board, according to the official.
Good job by Thurston.
Yes, indeed. And with 5:05 left in this game, the Vikings are able to dent the goal line one more time, and it's 36-12. As the Oxford Hills High School band strikes up the old, I assume it's the school song. It's somebody's school song. It's not theirs. And we're going to go for the extra point, and we're going to try to pass it. Well, no cigar, huh?
That wasn't there from the get-go, I guess you'd have to say.
5:05 left here in the football game, and our score from Oxford Hills. Thornton Academy 36, the Vikings 12. We'll be all back here for the final 5 minutes, right after this commercial pause. I agree with you. Okay, back here for the final 5 minutes. Carey. Oh, straight head on into the tackler.
Good aggressive running by Rick Carey. Get it straight up the field as much as you can get.
It's the only way he knows, I guess. And he drives down to the 41-yard line.
You know, you get the impression when you watch Carey run that he enjoys running people over.
Yeah, he looks for somebody to hit, and this sort of says, okay, you're my victim for the night. Still working out of the I formation. Massey, oh, he trips himself up. Might have had a little bit of room there, but the defense was sort of closing the holes. But Massey's being dragged away. I don't know why.
Things getting a little chippy out there right now, Roger.
Bound to happen, right? So we're going to have a second down and about 9, I guess, as we give Massey a yard on that play. Inside. Carey goes. Carey still goes. Driven out of bounds. Nice run. Close to the first down.
And the best part of it is he stayed in bounds. Just let that clock keep running.
That's right.
This game obviously well in hand, and penalty flag now.
Is that the
field.
first one for tonight?
I believe it is.
I think it is. Consider this now, gang. This is the first football game of the season, and with about, 2 or 3 minutes left in this game, 4 minutes, it's our first penalty flag.
I take that back. We had a procedure on Thornton Academy earlier on in the game.
You're right.
But still, that is pretty good considering first game of the year, 2
Outstanding.
penalties.
Outstanding. Yep, nobody will have any complaints about this one, and this one comes against Oxford Hills. Pushes the ball even deeper downfield. We're down about the 15-yard line, maybe a little short of it. Carey following his blocking. And Oxford Hills actually does a pretty good job on that play, considering what he had in front of him, the wall that he had in front of him. They still come up to stop it for a, fairly short gain. Picks up about 5, however. Gets down close to the 10, and we're going to call it 2nd and 5. And they come out of the full house backfield, the old straight T. One man in motion, and Burgess is going to go. Indeed, for the touchdown.
Whoa.
How about that?
Nice job of running. Good execution all the way around on that option play. Nice fake to the inside, and Burgess putting his head down about the 2-yard line and bulling his way into the end zone.
Not what you would expect out of a straight T. You really crossed everybody up. But the Trojans get on the scoreboard once again, 42-12. Carey and Crotto coming on the field for the extra point attempt. Now we're going to have a timeout being called by Thornton Academy. Well, TA has done it all tonight, and they've looked awfully good offensively doing it. This time the quarterback is able to pick up 6.
And when you look at the stat sheet here offensively, Massey by far has had a great night, but Burgess, good night rushing. Carey, of course, a good night rushing, and Burgess throwing the football pretty well this evening. So all in all, a real nice job by the Trojans. And of course, once again, Roger, we can't forget that front line.
No, indeed.
Great job.
They've been super.
Good job of protecting the quarterback, Burgess, and of opening holes really all night long.
Yep. And Carey will attempt the extra point here. Kick is up. Good.
Perfecto.
Perfecto. Yes, indeed, as they say in South America. Well, we've got a score of 43-12 here at Oxford Hills. And Thornton Academy making no mistakes here, or very few anyway, this evening. And a pretty good way to start the season. 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the football game. TA has had this game put away, actually, for quite some time. They now have a 31-point advantage. And we're all set for the kickoff. Cardiff hemmed in, stopped at about the 38-yard line. And the Vikings will take over at that point with little time left to accomplish very much here in this game. But it's been a fun contest, a lot of good hitting, and as we pointed out, good clean game on both sides. Penalty free, relatively.
A few miscues, fumbling, but really not. As you said, a pretty cleanly played game.
Yeah, all in all, I'm sure the coaching staff will be pointing out to all kinds of mistakes they spotted and things that they're unhappy with and so on and so forth, and I'm sure that's all very true, but all along, it's been a pretty good game. They've got a fumble on the field. Tardif is hit, and
I believe it's Josh DeSimone.
And let's see what they call it. It's Thornton Academy ball.
Not Josh DeSimone. Chad Hedierra's coming up with that ball.
And just as quickly as that, TA regains possession at the Viking 48. And now we'll be seeing, I would assume, a rash of new names and faces.
By no means are we to assume, I'll tell you, this second unit, very strong unit. Thornton Academy having a real strong JV program last year, as well as a strong freshman program the last couple of years, and a lot of real good football players that enter the game in the second unit. They're going to be led by Nate Gooding at quarterback, 5'11", 160. Nate, just a sophomore. And when you look down their roster, they are loaded with sophomores and juniors. Great sign for Thornton Academy football.
Nick Tabor coming into the lineup. He's number 55. He's only a sophomore. And, boy, you're right, aren't you? Look at these kids. Sean Stetson, he's a junior, number 41. He's in the lineup right now.
Great size, too, 6'3" and 180.
And Marty Gaines, 205-pound junior, coming in at center, I believe. Don Jerry, a junior, about 5'9", 170-pounder. And just checking in right now is Enraku Sargent. He's only a sophomore, running back. So we're going to see a lot of new numbers.
Keep your eye on 33 also. Jared Trudeau in the backfield at fullback. Hard runner. And back when I was just a starting high school, or prior to that, junior high, a fellow by the name of George Trudeau ran some football for Thornton Academy, and a great fullback.
Yes.
There he
goes. That's right. Good call.
If he takes after Dad, he's going to be a great runner, because George was a punishing Larry Zonka type runner.
Oh, really?
And from what I saw of Jared last year, when he played freshman ball, he fits the mold.
Well, he drives down to the 41-yard line. A nice run on the first carry. And gets about, let's say 7, or long 7. We'll call it second and about 3. They go into a pro set. And there he is again. And he stays on his feet pretty good, doesn't he, for a young fella?
Good leg drive, which is very important for a ball carrier.
Sure is.
The will to stay up.
Sean LaChance, number 74, 280-pound sophomore, just checks into the lineup. And coming out is Darrell Bryant. And Darrell has played a lot of football here tonight.
Darrell has gone on both sides of the ball this evening from time to time, playing a lot of defense. And I'm sure he's feeling tired right about now.
Chris Harmon in the game as well, number 86. Hand off inside, and yeah, there goes that good-looking sophomore fullback, Jared Trudeau. And Jared will drive it down to about the 35-yard line. Checking my clock, we've got 1 minute and 5 seconds left in this football game. And the new numbers keep checking in. Matt Gooding in the lineup. They go back into the I. Pitch out. And there he goes. Nice run by boy that I just named, Matt Gooding.
Good quick feet by Matt. Didn't take him any time to get to that corner.
None at all.
Turn it up inside.
Big first down, and you know, you say, well, don't pile it on, but what are you going to tell your kids? Don't run well, don't try to score, don't play well now, because, you know, we've already scored whatever number of points. Obviously, these kids want their opportunity too, and they should have it. And we got some flags all over the field on that one. The handoff was to Trudeau. But the officials obviously spotted something or other here. Of course, there were just as many changes going on the Oxford Hills side as there have been for Thorn Academy, and we're not going to be able to keep up with all their numbers simply because, well, frankly, you don't care, and neither do we, to be totally honest. You do care about Thorn Academy. Well, I mean, Oxford Hills, give me a break. First and 15. We had a 5-yard penalty on the play. Trudeau cuts back inside, runs into a stack, but somehow he manages to fall forward, which is what you're supposed to do if you're a fullback.
And that's going to do it, Roger.
Yes, it is. And that does it. Well, we've come to the end of our first football game of the 1993 season. It's been obviously very successful and a great one for Thorn Academy. Our final score up here in South Paris, Maine, 43-12. Trojans pick up number 1. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, Mark and I will have some final comments, and we'll be talking about our outstanding players, both offensively and defensively, for this evening. We'll be right back. And we are going to wrap this thing up here from Oxford Hills tonight. 43-12 final score. Thorn Academy has a good one. And talking just briefly to some of the coaches after the game, they seem pretty well satisfied with what happened here. At least they were satisfied offensively.
Yeah, you know, Roger, first game of the year. You're bound to make some mistakes. We commented at how clean we thought the game was played, considering it is the first game of the year. Now they have something to build on. They'll go back this week, watch some game film, work on their mistakes, and try to cut down on the mistakes every week. That's what high school football is about, and that's the way it's played. Offensively, tremendous job by the line. A lot of outstanding players offensively this evening.
Yeah, we're going to be forced in a minute to pick an offensive and defensive player, and we're going to do it. But it's been very, very difficult, and it's going to continue to be very difficult every week. As we were talking just before coming on, there are so many outstanding young men that play this game that it's kind of tough to start a single one person out. So we hope that everybody understands that when we do that, we're not necessarily keeping anybody out. We just have to point to one and say, well, we sort of named his name more often maybe than some of the others, and he just seemed to have, from our perspective at least, a better game tonight. But it's a great way to start the season. A beautiful night as far as we were concerned. People were very kind to us over here at Oxford Hills, and Thorn Academy is off to what should be, I think, a tremendous season, and this team is only going to get better as it goes along. No question about it. As the coaching staff was telling us again, they've got some problems that they saw defensively. I think we saw the same problems. They were obvious if you were watching the game. You saw them as well. And they're going to work on those things, and this team is going to come together. And before it's over, who knows? Who knows how far this team can go?
Well, as one of the coaches pointed out to us, they're a young team. You look across, you see lots of juniors, some sophomores, a few seniors sprinkled in there, and you have to give them a chance to gel. Luckily, on the defensive end, we've got 5 really tremendous seniors, great leaders. The kids know what they're doing, and they're going to bring those other underclassmen along. So about mid-season, they should be starting to get into top form. And I think you're going to see them play better every week.
I think it's a great way to start the season, as we said before, and it's also terrific for York County football. Been a great fan of York County football for a long time. Thorn Academy, as you saw tonight, obviously a fine team, and their top rival is going to be, as usual, the kids from across the bridge there on the other side of the river, Biddeford High. And there again, you have Biddeford and Thorn. You can't ask for better. It's the old York County Twin City rivalry coming through once again. And of course CTV 30, as you well know, also does a lot of Old Orchard Beach football, which I personally have been doing for many years, and they look like the strong contenders once again this year in Class C. So it looks like another great year for football in our area. Mark, we got to name those 2 kids. I'll give you the honors.
Well, offensively, we've decided that the gutsy player of the game is going to Kevin Massey. 2 touchdowns, unofficially about 150 yards rushing. a lot of top performers. The line did a great job. Kerry didn't run with the ball as much this evening, but a lot of key lead blocks for Massey. Burgess handled himself very well. Keith Crotto, Jeremy Soroyce, all the way around, Roger.
Absolutely.
Great job. But Kevin Massey really was the player that really stuck out in our minds this evening. We named him more often than anybody, so congratulations to Kevin, and we hope you enjoy the gut bomb at Wagner's Market.
And defensively, it was even more difficult, far more difficult. But when we look back at the game, I think in many ways the defensive secondary really kept this team in play. You'll notice how many times passes were not complete and how many good hits were done in that defensive backfield. And we had to come up with one of the boys in that defensive backfield, and he is?
Ryan Summer. That secondary is probably one of the strongest in recent memory at Thornton Academy. 3 seniors. They had a little bit of trouble up front. Oxford Hills, credit to them, ran the ball very effectively, but Ryan was there. A lot of tackles this evening, and really on the pass plays, laying back, coming in just in time. We've come to expect that from Ryan. Good size for a safety, a big hitter. So congratulations to Ryan for this season opener. Great performance, and we hope to see more of the same in the future.
I think that's probably going to do it for us tonight. Down the road, next week, Old Orchard Beach opens their season, and we'll be doing that. That's a home game for us against Freiburg Academy. And you, Mark, are going to be headed for Sanford High.
We're going to be at Cobb Stadium Friday night against the Sanford Redskins. The second step for Thornton Academy, and hopefully we'll see another impressive performance.
I have a hunch that you will. Down the road somewhere, I have a hunch that Mark and I will probably be getting together again for another one of these games. Certainly just filling in tonight for Jay Harper, who has been doing TA football for a long time. But it was a lot of fun tonight, and it was a real pleasure working with this pro that's standing next to me here, Marc Paquette. So I guess that'll wrap it up tonight. Mark, thank you.
Roger, thank you. You're a lot of fun to work with, very easy to work with, and I'm looking forward to working with you again down the season.
If I don't get any much older and die before that happens, that'll probably come through. So that'll do it for tonight. For CTV 30, this is Roger Painchaud with Marc Paquette, our cameraman standing right over there, Mark Picard, and thank you, good night, we'll see you down the road.